Let's play ball.
I like that.
Dad, are you excited to be on the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've already started?
We've started.
We're
baby.
recording.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the episodes yet?
I have. I was watching the one with Lindsay.
Okay.
It was
Hey.
interesting.
What'd you like about it?
You guys are so
Nothing.
relaxed. It seemed like you were so relaxed.
Just a couple guys having a conversation,
Yeah, it's an
keeping it light, keeping it flexible.
interesting concept. This podcast it's kind of new to me, even though I've heard about it for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But for people in my generation, it's kind of really new.
Right.
And I understand you guys just talk about various topics.
We talk about whatever we want to talk about, really.
I assume you have to be famous to be on a podcast, but it doesn't appear that way.
Isn't that a relative term, Dad?
That's true.
Fame.
That's true.
But we're here to talk about you. We're here to celebrate you.
Some of my patients think I'm famous, so okay. So my name is Joe. And I'm related to Justin and Dom.
Hey, Joe.
I'm their dad. Okay, and I'm a physician. That's my profession, and I've been doing this for many, many years. I work for NYU, and what actually I do is I'm considered a hospitalist. All right, which means that I do not have any private patients. The only patients I see are patients that are admitted to the hospital. So those are the patients I treat. We treat whatever illness, treat and discharge. And that's what I've been doing for many years.
And how long are you typically seeing these patients for?
Oh, I mean, they can be at the hospital for days to weeks and sometimes months.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my patients that I deal with are patients who come on a ventilator, a respirator.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are post-stroke patients, people who have heart failure and were not able to breathe, so they needed to be intubated. And it just takes time to treat their underlying medical problems in order for us to get them off the vent.
Gotcha.
And once they get them off the vent, we send them to rehab and hopefully eventually home. Some of them end up going to the nursing home for just a little bit more extensive medical care before hopefully they end up being discharged.
And when you say, I know you've told me this, like my floor, you literally mean like a floor of patients?
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Almost.
Like how many patients are you responsible for at a time?
There are various teams of physicians. On my team, we have 4 physicians, and we're each assigned a certain number of patients. And they're not only on one unit; they're all over the hospital. We have five medical units or floors. So
with wings. Right?
With wings.
Yeah,
with wings. So I end up taking care of my patients. If my colleague is not there on vacation or sick, I take care of him or her patients. There is definitely a trend at my hospital because it's for many, many years now, there's been actually a shortage of physicians. So it's actually a good field for the young people to go in. And the reason why there's a shortage of physicians is that there are less residency programs in the various acutes, because after you finish medical school, you need to do a residency program because you have to learn how to treat the patients. And there's been a trend of either hospitals closing. You see, it's not only other facilities closing down, going out of business, like Sears and things like that. There are actually various hospitals who are not generating enough revenue, and they just go bankrupt, and they.
Right, I feel like people forget that part about hospitals where exactly it's a business,
Yeah.
and they're made to make a profit, right? And if they're not making a profit, they're either getting subsidized by the government or they're getting, taken over by one of these bigger corporations, such as NYU.
Big thing in COVID was a lot of the hospitals suffered because the elective surgeries weren't happening. And that's where a lot of the hospitals make their money.
Oh, yeah. They lost millions,
So
multi-millions.
They're still recovering pretty heavily from that. And I know that's where a lot of, just from following publicly traded healthcare companies, right? So, because not only does it affect the hospital, but it affects the manufacturers of the equipment for the hospital, right? It affects the janitorial
the trickle down effect.
Like, there's so many different businesses that I think rely on a hospital, much like a school.
Right.
We kind of forget about all the downstream effects.
Right. I mean, we drove down. Where was it that we saw on Nassau Boulevard? Literally everything was NYU Langone.
Yeah. Oh, they took over the old Sears. Or
yeah, exactly. Like huge department stores are now this. And I was like, how do they afford this?
Well, they're the largest. Northwell is the largest employer in New York State,
and that's how hospitals are surviving. There's no longer like individual hospitals like Winthrop. It's no longer instead Winthrop. It's part of NYU.
Langone.
So there are actually in Manhattan and Long Island, there were, I think, 3 major corporations that kind of owned all the hospitals. There's Northwell,
right?
Only
NYU,
and Mount Sinai.
Mount Sinai now. Yeah.
So what about like LIJ?
LIJ is part of Northwell.
Oh,
that's right.
LIJ is Northwell.
What about like St. Francis?
You know what? St. Francis is still independent.
We love
the little guys.
I don't know how exactly they're surviving, but I mean, I know they have a great reputation as far as their cardio division, but I don't know how they survive. But in general, healthcare is so expensive, either to the consumer or the provider. I mean,
I know. I feel like you don't really understand what health insurance is until you start to being forced to pay premiums.
For yourself, yeah.
And then you're paying these premiums, but then you're not hitting your deductible, and you're like, why the fuck do I have health insurance if I just keep having to pay all this money?
Go through this every year.
The people who are really getting rich are those CMOs of the health insurance, whether it be Aetna, whether it be United Healthcare, whether it be Blue Cross Blue Shield. Those CMOs that run those companies, they're making billions of dollars. Not millions of dollars.
You know, CVS bought Aetna. They own Aetna now.
Wow.
Because they're trying to create this different kind of conglomerate, which we've never seen before, where pharmacy and the healthcare will be one, right? Which is insane. So it's like a monopoly they're creating.
And in my time, there were a lot of little mom and pops,
it's non-existent
pharmacists, pharmacies. But nowadays, there's none of those. They can't survive.
There's still a bunch of them in Vermont, like Lakeside Pharmacy and like these like random ones. But yeah, I agree. Most of them are these big Walgreens, and so.
You know what I like to talk about? I went to school in the DR, as my sons know, Dominican Republic, many years ago. And
where'd you go to school there?
It's called San Pedro de Macorís. It was in Dominican Republic, San Pedro. And I have a twin brother. I know the viewers don't know that, but I have a twin brother, and he also became a physician. So Mike and I, unfortunately, if you weren't able to make a U.S. medical school, people in my time were either going to Italy or the Dominican Republic.
Italy would have been convenient.
They didn't have like the other island. Like I know St. George.
Yeah, that was maybe 10 years later. So all those started opening up. But Mike and I went to the DR. I mean, we really had a great time there. The Dominicans love the Americans. Basically, I guess they love the Americans because we did contribute to the economy. And at my medical school, and again, it was in Spanish, and most of the students were either from Cuba,
Canada?
Florida, the Cubans,
okay.
Puerto Rico, or the U.S. So those were the majority of medical students there.
How long was that? How many years?
Well, Mike and I only did it for 3.25 years. And the reason why it only was 3, normally medical school is 4 years. We went all year round. So we went during the summer. So 3 semesters a year, and we were able to finish it off in 3.25 years.
Did you ever come back to the States during that time?
Yeah. Occasionally, you have a couple of weeks in between.
Yeah.
So he just flew back to the States. And it was really good. I mean, we had a great apartment. We had a house boy called well, you know,
a houseboy.
Wow.
He did all the errands for us. His name was what was his name? Marino, I think.
Who paid him?
We paid him.
Wow.
So we paid him to go shopping for us in the market.
It's kind of like a servant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, it's a job. It was a job.
Right. At least he was getting paid.
Yeah, he was really great. He was.
It's like a nanny, housekeeper kind of thing.
Yeah. So he did. You know, he told us how to like kind of survive in the DR.
Was he your translator?
He spoke English too?
He did not speak English.
Yeah, this.
But eventually we learned Spanish. It's not a hard language to learn, especially I'm an Italian, so I did speak somewhat some Italian when I was home.
Dean, can you look up one thing for us? I'm curious to see what a plane ticket cost from the Dominican Republic to New York in 1985.
You could probably find it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, how old are these Coronas? They've been there a while?
Yeah.
They expire pretty shortly. 3 months. I don't think I've ever seen a beer that close to expiration.
Dude, Dad has these beers upstairs, and he keeps these stinky cheeses up there. Then I was drinking a stout, and I just kept smelling it. I was like, this is fucking...
So these are beers from the summer. I mean,
this expires. This expires in 3 months. I've never seen a beer that close.
You never drank expired beer?
Maybe not.
You're a little bougier than I thought.
Not consciously. So
wait, tell us more about Marino.
Marino.
Was he like your age?
No, he was a young kid. He was probably maybe
he was like a
25-year-old. 25-year-old.
You were 25.
I guess he was my age.
Yeah.
But he was the one who kind of told us how to survive, how to get around.
Was he there all 4 years with you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Basically, did he live with you?
No.
Okay.
He just came by every morning. Yes, you know, is there anything I can do for you? You know, like I said,
nice.
Yeah.
One of those.
I want one of those too.
Yeah.
Dean, are you hearing about this?
A houseboy.
My dad had a servant when he was in the Dominican Republic.
We call them houseboys.
You know, job. I mean, no, he did not.
But he came by every day and asked if there's anything that
to be done. I mean, when you're in a foreign country, you know, I've never been to the DR, so I really didn't know what to expect. So he's the one who kind of oriented or
labor laws about this.
I'm not trusting this guy.
You know, I needed to buy a car down there.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
so a lot of the students had motorcycles there.
Yeah.
But we were fortunate to we actually ended up getting a car. I ended up getting a stick shift. And I've never driven a stick shift, but it's
how hard could it be, right?
It wasn't hard.
You're a natural.
They told me what to do. You know, you put your foot in this pedal, you put your foot on that pedal, and you just went. You know, a couple times you stalled, but you know, it was easy driving. The roads were open.
What'd you do for fun, like when you weren't studying and stuff?
Okay, so you know what? We're athletic, and I'm still very athletic. You know,
we can
talk
high.
Okay, so I'm extremely athletic. So we actually
tell me again how athletic you are.
I think sports kept me out of trouble, but we participated in a softball league, a Dominican softball league. Now, I'm sure everyone knows the Dominicans.
They are very good at baseball.
They're all over in baseball. So,
yeah, their team
played
amazing.
Isn't it like 10% of the of Major League Baseball is Dominican or something? It might be high.
I mean, Pujols,
can you look that up?
Manny, Ortiz.
You should know that off the top of your head. Yeah, I thought it was higher, actually. It's pretty crazy.
Pedro's not from DR.
Yeah, he's Pedro Martinez.
Yeah,
Big Papi.
Yeah.
And the players we had on my team were either Cuban or Jews.
Or Jew. Whoa. Went the other way.
Yeah. You know, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of Jews in the DR at this time?
Well, they go to medical school with me. I mean, you know, Jewish and Italian. I mean, Jewish and Italian. So they were all Cubans, and these Cubans are big guys. They're strong.
Yeah.
So it was fun. We competed. We went to had own stadiums. You know, it was like a regular stadium that we went to with.
Do you have like fans?
With fans, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Who'd you play?
it wasn't a tremendous.
Like
I mean,
the bench warmer.
2,000 or 3,000 people in the stands.
2,000 people.
Oh, and I tell you, the best thing we did.
Sit back, Dad.
The best thing we did is my father came to visit.
Boy,
My father came to visit, and we went to a cockfighting.
Yeah. I've heard
This,
stories.
cockfightings is with the chickens.
they still have that in like Puerto Rico.
Oh my God! It was vicious.
Yeah, I could imagine.
The Dominicans were going crazy. Everybody's betting.
Yeah.
And
Sounds awesome.
Well,
Was that Nono's idea?
I kind of.
You wanted to go?
No, it was our idea. But
Oh, okay.
I kind of felt bad at the end. I mean, these poor chickens.
Too.
They're being, killed.
Yeah.
Which
They do for fun down there.
I never went to see.
They used to do it with people. Imagine that.
I never went to see. I'm sure they had pit bull.
Spoticus?
They probably had. Oh, speaking of pit bulls.
Oh.
Okay. So,
Mr. Worldwide.
Well over a 10.
Even though the Dominicans were nice, they had a reputation of stealing, which means that when we went to school, if there was no one in the apartment, they stole. And just keep in mind,
This is a blanket.
listen to me. If they got caught stealing, the police and the DR, they don't carry guns. They carry machine guns.
I don't know.
If they got caught stealing, there was no jail or anything. Their hands were broken. So that was automatic punishment.
Doesn't sound too bad.
In the DR. But still, the people are poor, so when you go to school, no one in the apartment, they can steal. So most of the students actually ended up getting guard dogs. Some got pit bulls, some got Dobermans, the big dogs.
Damn.
So we got a pit bull. And we named our pit bull Odin. And this is the best dog I ever had. And the smartest dog I ever had. Because that dog was so trainable. We had trained this dog to eat on command because the Dominicans were so smart they used to throw poison meat into the
Yeah, that's fucked.
into the house.
These are smart house robbers.
All these houses had big balconies, and there was there was no windows. The windows were all open, so you just threw it in the balcony or threw it in the window. And this dog would not eat unless I gave the command. This dog would not attack. Actually, we changed the dog to attack without command. This dog would not jump because pit bulls are notorious jump leapers. So because he could jump off the balcony and on the street.
How did you train the dog so well?
I don't know. It was
you guys. It was just you guys. Or
it was
Jeff
just
help?
me and Mike, me and my brother.
Pretty impressive.
We just, I guess,
dogs
I don't
are
think
stupid
Google
nowadays.
We Google it. No, Google was not around in the 80s, right?
No Google, no YouTube. Definitely no YouTube.
Internet
Premium.
started. Yeah,
and eventually we did take this dog home with us, and it became.
Oh, there's a picture of me and him.
Became our family pet, and
I'm surprised you don't have any pictures around the house of him.
Voted?
What, in Queens? It was in Queens.
Well, yeah, but no pictures around this house of him.
I have the ashes upstairs.
No, I don't think. Didn't he die before he moved here?
No.
You had him in Albertson?
Yeah, no, not in Albertson.
Yeah.
In Ozone Park.
Yeah,
in Queens.
It doesn't matter.
We said around the house. I think.
No, pictures of him around the house, not him in this. Yes.
And
we got there eventually.
DR is people I'm sure have gone on vacation to the Dominican Republic.
You brought us many of times.
Yeah, and there's various areas whether you go on the north end of the island, which is considered like Punta Cana or Puerto Plata.
That's where I'm going in February. Punta Cana.
Yep. And then there's the capital, Santo Domingo,
which is not great. Yeah, Puerto Plata's out east.
I remember especially the going down in the fruit markets. Mangoes were the big things down there. Mangoes that you buy in the store here are not mangoes. When you go to the Dominican Republic, you get the mangoes. They're like so sweet. They're delicious. And they're mounds of mango. They're just, and then you just pick them. You just take as many as you want, put them in a bag, and you pay a peso, whatever. Everything was cheap down
Remember
there.
the guy with the coconut tree in Tanzania?
Oh, yeah. That was good.
The coconut tree.
It's good coconut.
100 feet, yeah.
Fresh coconut is great. You know what? Yeah, they get the machete.
Fresh fruit is.
You're a big machete guy.
We had a machete.
I
I brought home a machete.
I remember
seeing that.
I brought home a machete on the plane.
Different kind of security back then.
The freaking
I
just probably just put it in my luggage.
Yeah. Weren't checking anything back then in the 80s.
I gave it away.
Yeah,
when I got
it was in Queens.
and I had children.
No,
I
I had a
didn't
machete
want
in his house.
He saw machete.
You saw the machete.
Kids, yeah.
The old Sutter Avenue special.
Oh,
All the weapons out of the house. The guns, the knives, the machetes.
probably a good move.
Just in case. Just in case. And one more thing about the DR.
You can talk about as much as you want. Dad.
Okay. So the DR, like I said, they are extremely friendly to the U.S. Natives. And
That's us.
we had the saying $5. So now I'm not sure if it's $5 American money or $5 peso. I forgot at that time, but sex down there was very yeah.
So talking about like today a little bit more, right? So your schedule's pretty normalized. I know you have some overnights or some late nights, but pretty normalized. Like, what do you do to keep busy on weekends or in the evenings or anything like that?
Yeah, I still stay active. I mean, I've always been
LA
involved
Fitness Pump.
in sports.
What are you playing now?
Well, right now the hot sport is pickleball.
It's my partner.
I mean, Justin and I started playing maybe about 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's probably
maybe 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's like September-ish.
We joined a league.
Yeah, September.
We were mediocre in the league. I mean, I think we were like 12 and 14 our first.
We finished in fourth.
Yeah.
Finished in fourth out of 12.
Out of 4.
Hey. This day and age, you just Google pickleball. How to improve your serve? How do you do this? How do you do that? And your game remarkably gets better.
You have that patented right to left switch for the forehand. That's pretty impressive to watch.
You know what?
Don't do that anymore in real
You're like
competition.
Stark.
I don't have the mobility on the backhand. You know what? I mean, Justin can reach further.
His backhand
from
just
right
pop up.
to left.
I'm afraid they'll slap.
But if I switch hands, I mean, I have such more of a distance or just a little bit more. I can cover.
I think
more.
It's cool. So like we started pickleball, let's call it 2 years ago now, like LA Kick, right? And it's really blown up, and we've been really nice to kind of reap the benefits of that. But it's interesting to see pickleball because we play pretty casually, and we haven't even met the real players. Like there's people who this is the only sport they do. They do it year round. They've been doing it for 20 years. You know, pickleball is just kind of coming onto the mainstream a little bit.
The places that you guys play, are they similar to the pickleball plus, pickle time plus?
The place we play is much smaller. It's only 3 courts.
Oh, okay.
That's the biggest facility I've ever seen, period.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty large.
Yeah.
I think that's a big challenge right now, and it's why
finding
it's so
space.
expensive. It's finding space, It's not an expensive sport. Like, you could buy, a $40 paddle.
Right. I mean, you
ball,
could do fine.
And you can do it anywhere. You can do it outdoor, indoor. It's just finding the space.
Yeah.
And there's a high demand, low supply. It means costs are going up. So,
yeah.
Did you ever talk to them about trying to get something with LA Kick, Pickleball Plus, Pickle Time Plus?
They run their own leagues. So that's what a lot of these larger facilities, they have the staff to run their own leagues. So they don't want any outsiders in there. Yeah.
You know, pickleball players, if you played tennis in the past, you'll make a good pickleball player.
Ping pong too.
Yeah, they say ping pong. It's similar. I guess anybody who plays racquetball and anything with a racket, you catch on very easily.
But it's nice because it's a small racket. Like I know I've struggled with sports. Whatever.
I got corrected last week, so
I've struggled with sports such as tennis and I don't know if you've ever played badminton.
Yeah, that's hard.
But the distance between the face of the racket or whatever, to your hand is huge. Yeah. So it's you're just whiffing. But with pickleball and with ping pong, it's basically right next to your hand, right? Like you could hit that area.
Yeah, it's a connection piece, right?
Yeah.
It's been fun to play with him because we're now getting into strategy, right? We played a lefty and a righty couple, and they're very good. We've never beat them before, and we talked about strategy on how to beat them, right? And how to take advantage of the lefty righty, how to like play our game versus theirs.
That's a tough one, that lefty righty,
and it worked.
Like playing on the same team as the opposite.
And they're good. They're really good.
Yeah,
they're
imagine if they were both righties.
Yeah. Well, the key there was we whenever they were split, so both their backhands were in the middle. We would go right. I mean, I would tell him all the time, go down the middle, and then in the opposite, I'd say, dink it to the corners. Always dink it. So it's cool just talk. Yeah, and it worked. Yeah, we won the championship.
I played this team. Well, Justin and I.
We played it 15 times.
8 times
this season.
This season, I was 0 wins, 8 losses until we got them in the finals.
You got them, baby.
They were upset.
Yeah, they were not happy. Shout out Michael and Debbie.
I'm sure they said, "Oh, Justin and Joe." Okay,
they're really nice. They're really cool people.
But they're nice.
Yeah, you told me a good piece of advice where, like, if I'm serving, right, I serve it, and if they return it back to our side, you have to hit it back to the person who served it, basically, right? Because they're going to be on the back line,
correct.
Or like trying to move.
They're
forward.
moving. Hit the moving.
And it's like if you don't do that, you're just going to get fucked.
And make sure you're stationary. We can, I saw it on YouTube.
Don't be running.
You cannot hit the ball
on the run
while you're running.
Yeah.
Once I realized that,
your next step though is the third shot, drop shot. Which again, if we're serving, right, they hit it back to us. We need to put in the kitchen.
I mean, whoever's been playing pickleball knows that is a tough shot.
I know, and I do it. And so it gives you as a server time to get up there. Right, is the idea behind it. Third shot.
What I've been doing. And, I'm a novice, but if my teammate is serving, basically I go up, I'm the first one to the kitchen, and I kind of slide midline a little bit.
Because he has to get up.
Yeah, and then once you go, then I slide back to my
Agreed.
That's the way to play it.
Yeah.
That is definitely
we played against this tennis guy. So it was funny, these 6 guys, these 6 friends all joined, and they joined in groups of 2, and they were all highly competitive against each other. Not against anyone else, just each other. And they would trash talk and yell. It was kind of funny. 6 Indian dudes, and like,
are they good?
They were
good
and
like
not
tennis players.
Yeah.
Golf players.
One guy had a huge tennis swing, and that was the challenge. And we just were like, we learned like you can't hit a backhand, so we went after his backhand. And you start to get to know the players in a smaller league. But what's made us really good.
Don't get in a match for match power for power.
Yeah,
because we were losing.
Yeah,
they're so much stronger because they have the tennis swing.
Yeah.
So we would just hit it lighter, and then they just went off balance.
On Saturdays. Playing against better competition, a variety, not playing with each other has made us better too. And it's a lot of fun. Like you're going to have a great time on Saturday, where the way it works, if we play, we start as a team. If we win, we stay on, but we split. And if we lose, we go back in line and just wait until the next court opens up. And it opens up less than 5 minutes. And you can't play more than 2 games, 2 or 3 games in a row.
Yeah, 2
I mean, are people like overly competitive? Like
no.
It
was like decently competitive. Or it was kind of annoying, but otherwise, everyone. But you'll play with guys who will just spin. They have no power, and then you'll play with a woman who's not good, and you have to figure out how to cover her. I played with like a dominant guy, and I was like the second hand, which is totally different the way we play. So it's been fun doing the intermediate play.
I know. I wish there was something. I mean, there is a league by me, but there's a lack of indoor courts. Like we have plenty of outdoor courts, but it's the indoor that's the issue.
We're hoping to get something at Tully Park. I'm gonna talk to Nicole about the outdoor.
Yeah,
good to get something.
Tully Park is a park right.
It's good that you're
right around the corner.
Super into this too, Dad, because your other hobby, golf. It's a decent
seasonal
exercise, right? You do a lot of walking, but something to get that cardiovascular rate up, like pickleball, is a great option for you.
Yeah, also pickleball year round. Golf's.
And now our whole family loves it,
Yeah.
Our cousins
not everyone can golf. Not everyone can play
Nicole,
pickleball.
Me, Justin, like we all play. So
it's an easy sport to fall.
That's going to be our new bowling now, Dad, when I come home.
I'm sure some of you will start playing pickleball.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
Yeah.
That's been fun.
It's not a hard sport to learn.
Other than pickleball, you have any other hobbies that you got into over the last few years? Maybe
over the years, I've tested some odd things like art, drawing, Bob Ross. I don't know if people know Bob Ross, but
wait, where are these drawings?
Oh,
in the trash. On the garbage. Where they belong.
So, you gotta, come out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So for some reason, someone bought me a puzzle.
Someone
Is right here.
What was the first one?
The first one was a three-dimensional Game of Thrones puzzle.
Yeah, it
Wow.
wasn't your
It's a
typical
bold move for the
3D.
first one.
COVID hits. We're here, right? There's nothing to do in the evenings.
Oh yeah, so that's
and we
it.
got the 3D.
3 years ago, that's when we
So it
started
started with the castle.
Yeah.
Winterfell.
Yeah,
I got
know,
him.
it's
It's
still
thick.
upstairs.
And then I got him the other Game of Thrones one, which might also be upstairs.
Yeah.
It's the map, and it has it's a map, and it has topography on it, which is cool. There's layers.
That's also
I think
upstairs.
it's also upstairs.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of spiraled out of control around us, and now you have nowhere to put them all, so you put them down here.
Yeah. These
we have your big one under here.
There's
3,000 pieces. That took almost a whole year. I got them for Christmas last year.
500, and then I moved up to 1,000 piece. Now the latest one was 3,000, which took me, I don't know, 6 months.
No, it took you from January to when you finished it, the last month.
So it
took you 11 months.
Because you only do it for a half hour at night. You come home from work, you do the puzzle, put a couple pieces here, put a couple pieces there. If you guys come over, I have no problem. If any of your friends come over, go to the puzzle. It's on one of my. Fortunately, I have a nice house, a large house. It's in one of the tables.
Now it's your puzzle room.
It is now a puzzle room, I guess.
No longer the dining room.
I want you to get more animal ones.
Yeah.
This one was fun because the one beneath us, because it was across the country, across the world, and it had different, like, Italy had wine and such. The one you're doing now is so hard because it's all thick color.
Just Wolverine.
There's no detail.
Yeah,
it's Wolverine.
The less detail, the better. Yeah, but the puzzles have been fun. I think they're also just like speaking about, like some people do Sudoku or crosswords or different mind stimulation. I think these are great because it's the same way I approach like model making. You come back to it on like a routine. You just like leave it and you know where it is. You're gonna come back to it and then finish. Back to it.
Yeah. Models is a great way.
You can do it like listen to a podcast.
Right. Crossword might be a little bit more focused. And you might get frustrated.
It's so easy with the puzzles unwind. I put some music in the background and I just do a few puzzles, pieces with the puzzle.
Speaking of
maybe somebody else will start doing puzzles.
Speaking of puzzles, how'd you like the escape room yesterday? Was that a little challenging?
You know what?
A little fast.
I should have brought my glasses. You had to read a lot of things. You had to look at combinations on these locks.
Yeah, this one was very fun.
It was a little hard for me to help you guys solve the.
It was fun though. We got it with 4 minutes left. I wanted a picture. I'm a little upset she didn't ask for a picture.
Yeah, the other one asked for a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, a picture of us?
Yeah, because we escaped.
Yeah, dude. The other one I did was like a room like maybe the size of this basement, maybe a little smaller than this. And it was 2 rooms. Yeah. And
my bathroom was the size of our escape room.
Yeah, it was small. Yeah, I thought we were gonna go into that door, and then that was gonna be the room.
Yeah. We'll see if you can set one up for Saturday. I think Lindsay would love that. And you bring your glasses this time. It was fun though. Good. It was a real life puzzle.
Yeah, it was different the first time. So,
and it's like a 54% completion rate. So it's basically like a coin flip.
Yes. So
it's not like 80% beat it.
So we did well. Yeah. Well, I know we had Tyler.
Dean.
Smart Dean. Tyler Dean.
Tyler Dean. Jimmy Dean.
Yeah, I guess it's good.
What's the sandwich?
Teaches.
Also, Jimmy Dean.
That's Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy Dean.
Paula Dean.
Paula Dean. Who's Tyler Dean?
That's your friend, Tyler.
Dean Tyler?
No, Tyler Jean.
Tyler Jean. No.
What's that?
I wonder if he watches.
We'll find out.
Dean Martin?
Dude, he was just in Antarctica, and he was at a wedding. And
wait, in Antarctica?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
And Diplo was singing. And it was like a room of like 15 people, and Diplo was one of the people. Yeah, in Antarctica. He said that.
I assume these are singers.
Diplo's like a famous like DJ. Like famous.
We're talking Antarctica. It's very difficult to get there. Nice.
It's right next to Europe.
It's a getaway wedding, right?
That's one hell of a getaway wedding.
Yeah, well, it's kind of wrapping it up. Anything that you wanted to touch on before
Dinner plans?
we close? Dinner plans?
Yeah.
Indian?
Yeah. Love Indian. I mean, I'm multi-ethnic. It doesn't matter. I eat everything. We are. We are. Loaded question. Oh my god.
I will give you credit. I guess like sushi is more relatively new to you because of the raw, but you're pretty good with. I'll give you a lot of credit for like. I mean,
You know what? I hate to tell you,
a lot of my friends' parents are not this willing to try food.
Raw fish I associated with food poisoning for some reason. I don't know. Maybe because I'm from the medical
Tattoos
profession.
with hepatitis.
Yeah, I mean, I stay away from fish that's not cooked, whether it be parasites in there. I don't want to turn people off to sushi, but I guess it's all
I bought
regulated.
some salmon from the farmer's market, and I saw a couple worms in it.
Wow.
But, I was doing some research, and that means it's pretty fresh if there's microorganisms eating the fish.
Have you seen, the Costco salmon?
And I ate the fish.
Costco salmon, people are eating it as sashimi. They're like, they do a preparation.
Yeah.
They could do a preparation. You do like a saltwater bath.
Yeah, or like vinegar or something.
Yeah.
How do you know it's not a parasite? Another, that it's gonna connect, invade your intestinal tract. These worms and
I live life on the edge.
I've never heard of anyone going through that.
When I went to Thailand, everybody was taking prophylactic albendazole just because they assumed that they were going to get parasites. Like I bought some, but I didn't wind up taking it.
No.
It's just my little friends, I think anytime you've traveled to a more developed nation, somewhere in like the Caribbean or South America or Southeast Asia, and you're eating street food, you're going to be picking up something.
Yeah, you get hepatitis.
Street food.
Well, not necessarily hepatitis.
Just some sort of bacteria.
To say,
Some sort of bacteria or parasite that is just going to go on the ride.
Yeah. Did I see videos of people making street food with the bare hands and just like imagine what's on there?
Exactly.
As long as it doesn't kill you, right?
It would be nice to
tastes good.
not have diarrhea for 7 days. That'd be good.
You ready to wrap up?
I am.
Cool.
I am.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Cool.
Different.
Thanks for
fun.
coming on.
Thanks for inviting me, guys.
And
lots of
you get
success.
some Lifeline swag, T-shirts.
You can order.
I got a coffee cup.
We got that hat. I don't know where that
got a coffee cup. Dad gets coffee cup.
Because I didn't.
I'm part of the podcast.
No,
because I actually had gifts to get you. I didn't know. I didn't know what to get Lindsay.
Oh, anybody that participates, we get a
budget.
We get a gift.
Do we have to drop any codes?
Use SKIPPERSVIEW for 20% off SeatGeek for all your sporting purchases.
Sponsored.
Soon to be sponsored by Aquaphor, apparently.
Oh, that's for Lindsay. Lindsay loves her Aquaphor.
Just kidding. We don't even like Aquaphor.
Don't worry about it.
I wish we could get some more sponsors, though.
All right. We're going to end it here.